there! I am commonly referred to as a artsy person. I act, I sing, I draw, I craft, I talk to imaginary people on YouTube. And I also know a lot of creative people who are lucky enough to pursue their art for a living. Other artsy people like myself can tell you that it can be really fulfilling to follow your passion, but there is a lot of stigma about being involved in the arts. There are just things that people assume about creative people and their professions that just simply aren't true and would be ludicrous if you assumed them about other people's professions. One thing I'd like to bring up is that people act like you shouldn't get paid for the value of your work. There have been plenty of times that people have asked for my creative services and either didn't offer to pay me or thought that I should do it for free for exposure. Creative pursuits aren't just fun dalliances. They're how we make our paycheck. How would you like it if you were an accountant who was expected to do someone's taxes for exposure instead of getting paid? If you put your time, energy, and effort into something that is a skill that you've cultivated for years, you deserve to get paid for it. Or at the very least, some kind of exchange of favors. Another thing is that people act like if whatever you're doing doesn't make you rich or famous right away, that you're wasting your time. I've actually met people who've said things like, if I don't get my big break in 2 years, I'll quit and do something else. Because there's this mentality that if what you're doing doesn't make you rich or famous, you fall into the category of a wannabe. Many creative people will tell you that we do the things that we do because we love it and because it makes us feel fulfilled. But we'll also tell you that there seems to be this pressure to justify living creatively and to try to prove that this is worthwhile by showing progress in a short or unrealistic amount of time. It takes people decades sometimes to get recognized for their work, but that's not always why we do it. We do it because it makes us want to get up in the morning. It makes us feel amazing to finish a painting or to write a story, not just because we want to be a huge success. Although we'd like to be a huge success if we could, but it doesn't always happen overnight. There are plenty of people who've put in a lot of long hours and hard work and got rejected. Watch my video all about how to do the thing, and I go on a whole tirade about creative struggles. It's true. And perhaps the most annoying thing of all, this question. So if that doesn't work out, then what? Nobody ever asks. So if med school doesn't work out, then what? This goes back to the other thing I just mentioned about how people sometimes feel like they can judge how fulfilling your job is based on how much you make or how famous you are. It is insulting to people to treat them like whatever they've decided to dedicate their life to, or to put all this time and energy and effort, blood, sweat, and tears and long nights into cultivating into a skill is not worth it unless they're on the cover of Rolling Stones by tomorrow. Nobody ever asks people in law school what's gonna happen if they don't pass the bar exam. They just don't do it because they assume that if it's a profession that they are pursuing and they work really hard, they're gonna do it. But they do not give the same amount of respect to creative artistic people. There's a lot of stigma that goes with being attached to the arts. Some people just hate you because they'll hate you and they'll think you're an unwashed hippie. But you know what? We do what we do because we love it. If we could be happy being an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor or something that makes a lot more money, we probably would do it. But that's not what makes us happy. That's not what gives us joy. Making things gives us joy. Being part of a creative team. Contributing something beautiful. I'm sure plenty of you can relate to these things, and feel free to go down in the comments and voice your other frustrations about what people assume about your creative pursuits. And hopefully people who are watching this that may have thought those other things, you might want to tone it down when you're around creative people. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if that's your thing, and like I said, go in the comments and rant about how people are sometimes just, they don't get it. They don't get it.